Hey everyone. So today I'm coming to you with a new book haul. It's not a particularly large book haul, but there's some exciting ones in here. So I really hoped I would have a book that I had finished reading to show you, because I feel like I haven't given like a reading wrap up in a while. But believe it or not, I am still working on Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Yeah, so I was reading this book even in my previous video. I had barely started, but now I've kind of swapped and I'm almost done. Like, look at that. I only have like, I don't know, 50, I don't even know how many pages, I'm not gonna guess, but not a lot. Not many pages left. So, but I just felt like it'd been so long since I had filmed that I was like, ugh, whatever, I'm just gonna film an update anyways. Yeah, I can give some of my non-spoiler thoughts about this just because like I'm literally almost done. I will say part of the premise of this book does kind of hinge on the ending. So basically you have two writers who are competing to tell this very famous like socialite's life story. She's really reclusive, like she has a lot of like secrets and her family is very well known, so she kind of holds like a competition to see which one of these two journalists she's gonna let write her biography. And obviously there's a romance between them, so but yeah, I'm really liking it so far. It is like half romance between them, half like literary fiction, you know, people's interest sort of story. At the beginning, I was not really intrigued by the woman. Her name's Margaret Ives. Like, because part of this book is like her telling her story, like just sort of you go back and forth between the interview process and these two growing closer. And at first I wasn't really intrigued in the interview portion, but as time went on, like, you know, I got invested enough. And I'm really curious how it's going to end. So I am excited to get through this, but I don't know why, but it's just taken me so long to get through it. My theory is that like there's a lot of like arcs in this book. So like it's not just like, oh, I hate you, oh, I like you, oh, third act breakup. It's not like as clean cut as that. So I feel like there's a lot more like mini arcs, and every time I finished with like a mini arc, I would like set it down and like take a break. But that's not to say I didn't like it, because I did. It's just, I don't know, just taking me a long time. Like, this is the only book, believe it or not, that I have been reading in May so far, and we're already like halfway through the month. So yeah, I don't know, I don't have any answers. I cannot see myself reading this whole book in like a day. I think that would like take it out of me. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. I will say Funny Story is still my favorite. I have not read all of her books, but as far as her adult books, Funny Story is my favorite so far. This could be number 2. We'll see. Depends on how it ends. I do think I like it better than Beach Read already, so I don't see it going lower than that. Or Book Lovers. So honestly, yeah, strong contestant for second place. I have not read her other adult books, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far, and the next time you see me, I better be done with it, is all I gotta say. If you've read it, I'd love to see where it ranks in your listing of Emily Henry books if you read more, because it's really interesting how different everyone's ranking is. But yeah, this is the book and the only book I've been reading so far this month. And now we get into the next portion of the video, which of course is the book haul. So let's get started. I'll start easy. So the first book I picked up is Friends with Benefits by Marissa Cantor, I believe is how you say that name. This is a adult contemporary, I think it's a romance. I believe so. I don't usually read these kinds of books, but what interested me about this one is the premise is that these two are best friends, and they end up deciding to get engaged and get married for like healthcare benefits. And I just loved that idea. I was like, yeah, you know, why not? Yeah, lifelong best friends say I do to a marriage of convenience, trading vows for a financial safety net and benefits. This is perfect for fans of Emily Henry and Catherine Center. I have not read any by that other author, but I love that premise. I think that's so cute and so like relatable. I originally was going to buy this on my Kobo e-reader, but then I saw they were coming out with like this sprayed edge edition, and I was like, well, I mean, what's one more paperback, you know? But yeah, it seems cute. I will say, I am not the biggest fan of this like cartoon style cover. Like, it was cute at first, and then I'm like, can we have some artistic diversity in our covers, please? Like, they all look the same. It's a little too generic. Like, they're not terrible. I'm not really complaining. I feel like the style has been this way for like 5 years now, and it's just getting a little old for me. But yeah, I think I did mention this book in my like anticipated reads, my 2025 anticipated reads video, and at last she's here. So yeah, those were actually the only two contemporary books I have for this fall. Next, I'll move on to a Kickstarter book that finally came in the mail. I'm so excited for this one. If you are a reader of the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, this is the next like bind up of novellas, I believe, that follow different characters and relationships in the Shadowhunter world. But yes, these follow, I just checked, these follow different Shadowhunter couples in their respective time periods. I think there's a list online of all of them. I know Matthew's story is in here. I have to say, I'm most excited for Matthew's story. My dear sweet Matthew, who I would protect at all costs. I know there's a Tessa and Will story. I believe there's a Mark, Kieran, and Christina story. I'm going off the top of my head. What else? There might be a James and Cordelia story. I'm not sure. I'm so excited to read the stories in here, especially Matthew's. I'm just really glad we get to see like him find love, because he was suffering in his trilogy and he deserves happiness. Honestly, I really shipped him with James for like ever since the short story in the Shadowhunter Academy bind up. It was really the story of how they met, and it was just so cute, and so like I really shipped them. So they'll always be like a crack ship for me, but I've actually heard his love interest in here is very much like James' personality, so I think I'll be happy with where he ends up. But yeah, it's called Careful of Books, a novella collection. There's also art on the inside. That's obviously Matthew and his dog, Oscar. So cute. Let's see. It's a cat. Is that might be Kit and what's her name? Tessa and Jem's daughter. I think it's Maya or something like that. I can't remember. It's been too long. Really cute, adorable. Yeah, it's a very heavy book, but I'm really excited to read these. I think, like, since I know this world and these characters so well, that this will be good to get me, like, out of any kind of reading slump. And since the last series that she's coming out with doesn't come out till, I think the first book is released in 2026, I have plenty of time to read this. And this will, like, tide me over until the final series comes out, which I'm just not ready for. I started reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles when I was, like, in high school, so I was, like, 14 maybe. And by the time the final series is out, I will be 30, in my 30s at least. So that's insane. It's really insane. Literally the series that has followed me throughout my whole, you know, early life. But yeah, really excited to read this. Okay, and now we have 3 books left. The first one is The Tainted Con by Taryn Matheru. This is the beautiful Goldsboro edition. I just love these covers. I think they're so, so pretty. I'm not sure if you can see, like, the detail on the dragon, but it's really stunning. This is the sequel to Dragon Rider, I think is what it's called, the first book. The Tainted Con. Here's the back, it just has the tail. I won't read the back just because it's the sequel and I don't want to spoil anything for you or myself. But yeah, this is the, ooh, I think there's something in here. Goldsboro bookmark. It's the Goldsboro edition. Really, really pretty. I think the back is the same. Yeah. Let's see if there's anything on the front. Yep, so here is the front. I think it's a dragon egg. It's really pretty. And then it also has, not sure if you can see this, the light's kind of going down, so here are some, like, dragon scaled sprayed edges. It's really stunning. The front and the back I think are the same. So pretty. I'm excited to read this series. I haven't read a ton of dragon fantasy. It's not particularly my subgenre or niche, but I'm hoping I'll like this one. So yeah, The Tainted Con. The Tainted Con. Next up, we have 2 copies of the same book, with more on the way, sadly, to report. But I couldn't help it. I'm really excited for this book, even though it's in a genre that I don't typically read. But I think I'll like it. So, here is the Waterstones edition of The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I have yet to read anything by Joe Abercrombie. I really want to read, I think the first book is A Little Hatred, I think it's the Age of Darkness trilogy. I can't quite remember the name. I know the first book is called A Little Hatred, though. I've been wanting to read that series for a while. It's just been, you know, further down my TBR list. It's there, but I just haven't gotten to it. But this is his latest release called The Devils. I don't know if it's the first book in a series or if it's a standalone, but the normal colorway is blue instead of red. And I just loved the Waterstones edition because I thought red fit it much better. Just has black sprayed pages, very fitting. I think this is like horror / fantasy, which is a great combination. I don't often read horror because I'm not good with gore, but I'm always so intrigued by horror. Like, there's a lot of elements of horror that I enjoy, just not gore. I love the themes discussed in horror, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm really hoping I'll like this. It is stunning, stunning, stunning in paper art. Like, that's so cool. I'm obsessed. In fact, let me just take it all off to show you. This is the back in papers. And then the front says, let's try to read this backward. The worst monsters make the best allies. I just think the red really fits perfectly. I believe it's signed. Let me check. The little blurb says, Europe stares into the abyss. And then there's the summary, and then it says, when you're headed through hell, you need the devils on your side. And that's all I'll read, because I don't want to know more than that. So yeah, this is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. It came out recently. And then you already know what this book is, but I'll show it to you. It's the Broken Binding edition of The Devils. This cover is so cool. Like, look. Let's see if I can show you. Terrifying wolf creature. A great crew of protagonists. Probably murderers and thieves, if I had to guess. And here is the in-paper art. Truly horrifying. Looks like we're in hell. Looks like we have necromantic powers. I don't want to know. I love this art style. Whoever the artist was they commissioned to do this dust jacket blew it out of the water. The back says, there are tasks that must be undertaken and methods used to which the faithful and unimpeachable are not suited. Let me show you the in papers. First, here is the naked hardcover. The back says, no matter how you fight, you can't beat time. It lays low every empire, topples every tyrant. Oh my god, the spine looks so cool. Looks like one of those, like, forbidden books you'd see in like the locked room of the library. Okay, the end papers. So this book is kind of a test for me. Having never read anything by Joe Abercrombie, this will be the test. Can I read it? Can my stomach take it? I really hope so, because I'm sure there's a lot about it that I'd like. I just need to not have a weak stomach. It would make probably a good Halloween read. Although, to be quite honest, I don't really like reading horror books during Halloween. Like, for some reason during Halloween I like comforting books. And I have a feeling this will not be very comforting. Okay, so here are the books I hauled today. A little heavy, but 3 chunky fantasies, 2 if you only count title, and then a bind up and a nice little contemporary to round things off. But yeah, this is my book haul for today. Let me know what you're reading. I'd love to know. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one.